right, everyone, and welcome to the Business Shower Podcast, a podcast for business owners to shine. I am your girl, Kelly Edwards, and today we are talking with Dom Saint. Did I say it right?
Saint-Fleur.
Fleur.
Yes.
Okay. Of Ava's Room Boutique. So, tell us, how are you doing today?
I'm okay. I read that we're getting more snow. I don't know if you're in Jersey, but I'm in Jersey.
Yes, I am.
And like every other day, right?
Yeah.
Day it's been snowing, so I was just like, oh boy. But other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, listen, I'm over the snow too. I thought the groundhog saw his shadow. Like,
I don't even know what that means. Ever since elementary school, I've been like, what? Which one is it? This is so stressful.
It is. It definitely is. But he saw his shadow. So this should be going away real soon, hopefully. I think it's trying to just like come all at once because it's going to be over soon. I don't know.
I really just think 2021 is trying to steal the shine from 2020. But anyway.
Well, we could talk a whole show about that.
Right?
But okay, so Dom, tell our listeners who you are and what you do.
Sure. So I actually have a background in HR. That's where I come from. I'm also an avid, I love fashion. My favorite designer is Alexander McQueen, RIP. And I found a way to do HR, but work in luxury brands. So I used to work at Valentino. I worked at Burberry. I worked at this company called Marni. So Gucci. So like fully immersed in the New York City, commuting back and forth, city, like all of that. But I found myself like, I was very unhappy. I hated it. I hated corporate America. And I also felt like stifled. And I was, ever since I was little, was that girl. I had a whole bunch of ideas in my head. I was just too afraid to kind of act on them. Mm-hmm. So I would always, all of my friends that had businesses that they needed, I was always the one helping. I was never the one kind of like in the middle and the center of attention. 2016, I had my daughter, Ava, and I decided I'm going to take a step back, find a job closer to home so I'm not commuting back and forth, and kind of like be a mom. Let's do this mom thing, right? Okay. I noticed early on some things about Ava that were kind of like I thought that were a little weird. Brought them up to her doctor. He was very dismissive. He was finding every reason not to get us where we needed to be. She was not responding to her name. She was lining up her toys in color order and like being really obsessed about it. And then she had words, like she was saying mama, daddy, whatever, and then all of a sudden just stopped. So this went on for like 2 years, I want to say, of me being a new mom, not knowing that I could advocate myself, coming from a whole Haitian family that believes whatever the doctor says is what the doctor says. So I decided that, I was just going to see what happens. Let's see what happens. Like I said, I'm a lover of fashion. So when we did finally get the doctor to give her a referral to do her evaluation and she was diagnosed, I was like, how am I going to communicate with my baby? Like, I was excited about being able to connect, about dressing up and all of that stuff. And I was just scared. And, when they give you the diagnosis, they hand you a stack of paper, like your daughter's autistic here, and then they leave you. And I went to Google University and was just reading a bunch of things that I was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? One day, getting her dressed, and she couldn't communicate what was wrong with her. And I got frustrated too. Like, I'm be completely honest. I was just like, what is it? What is it? She hopped off the bed. She ran to her drawer, got a headband, threw it on, and was looking at herself in the mirror and was like, adorable. Oh my God, let me tell you. Like, I was bawling like, yes.
I was just going to say, you probably started crying, right?
I was bawling because I was just like, because you hear or you read autistic children are robots. They have no personalities. They're difficult. That is not true. Right. I was so like scared, like, how am I going to parent this little girl? I don't even, you know what I mean? And I always say that God gave us fashion, and that's where Ava's Room was kind of birthed.
Okay.
I hope that made sense.
No, it made a whole lot of sense. So you said a couple of things that kind of goes hand in hand with my background. So HR, we were both in HR. I was in HR. I worked at ADP for 13 years before they laid me off. So yes, and then I have a degree in psychology, and I work with children that are autistic.
Really?
So yes, so
my people, my
yes.
people.
So yeah, you said a whole lot of stuff. So I'm like, yeah, yeah, they are not. They say I feel like autistic children are like the smartest children, and it's so, how could I say, it's so good to kind of be around some of them, because some of the clients that I work with are hilarious, if I must say. Like, I have some favorites, and I shouldn't have favorites, but I do. I have some favorites. But okay, let's get back to the interview.
Okay.
So you basically came up with the name because you named it after your daughter, right?
Yeah.
So tell me what made you come up with the, okay, I'm gonna create a clothing line to help her, express herself through fashion.
So funny thing about the name, actually, the name was supposed to be Ava's Closet.
Okay.
Like the day that I was like, I bet I'm gonna do this. Like I went on to GoDaddy. I typed in the name and the domain name wasn't available. I was like, oh. So, and then I think they were charging like $5,000 for it or something like that, something crazy. So I was like, oh my gosh, I was like so hooked, like so hooked on this one name, whatever. And then I started thinking, all right, if I can't do Ava's Closet, what can I do? And the whole point of the brand is to make a safe place for people to dress how they want, for you to be exactly who you are, and then also a safe place for parents with children with disabilities or not to come and kind of feel seen. Mm-hmm. So where do you feel safest? Your room. So I was like, oh, Ava's Room. There you go. And that's where, the name kind of came from.
I love it. So it's funny because one of my good friends, her daughter's name is Ava, spelled the same way. So when I saw the name, I was just like, wait, huh? And then I was like, oh, somebody else. I was like, wait, what happened?
Hey, I have another story about Ava's name. So
okay.
My husband and I have two very close friends, and like when Ava was born, she didn't have a name for like 2 weeks because I didn't want to know what the sex was.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was so sure I was having a boy that I was just like, boy names, that's it, because I'm having a boy, period. Even so much so that then when they were like in the nurses were like, it's a girl. I was like,
like, what?
Okay. And they're like, why do you like that? But so our friends, we call them up, like, our daughter's here. Her name's Ava Isabel. And why did we not know that our friend's daughter's whole name, like, is Ava Isabel?
Oh.
I'm like, wait. Because we knew her name was Ava, but Ava Isabel, we stole that baby whole name.
Listen, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens, trust me. That's so, well, listen, I don't have any kids yet, but I'm sure whatever name we do come up with when we do have a baby, it will probably be somebody else's name, because I'm not creative like that. No. I can't. Okay. So have you taken anything from your experience at school to aid you into starting your business?
So, I mean, I went to school for business, so I take all of that I learned. But a lot of the stuff that I learned have been self-taught or through experience, really. but I am currently in school. So I'm studying to become a speech pathologist because I don't see enough Black speech pathologists or therapists or what have you. And I just feel like going through the motions of school have helped me because I also have a son who is also, he's in early intervention. So they see some signs in him too. And having the tools to do the things at home, and then also having the tools to kind of go, because our Instagram page is like a hub for resources, like what to look for in a child that's autistic, what to look like for in a boy versus what to look for in a girl, and tools and tips to keep them busy, and how to detect sensory, like all of these things that I'm learning now on this career path. Have really helped me to like boost up the business in a way where we're not just selling clothes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're definitely going to be looking forward to this. This is going to be good. Where are you in master's degree or bachelor's?
So I am in a bachelor's program right now. Okay. It's like a program, so you're doing everything all at once.
Okay.
Let me tell you how scared, like everything is so exciting, but also on the flip side of that, I'm like, oh my God, can I do this?
Yes, you can.
But yes. Yeah. I'm so excited. And every time I meet someone that's in the field, I'm like, yes, Black girl.
Yes. Yeah, see, I was supposed to go back. I don't know. I still might. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. I just literally got finished and I'm like, I need to breathe.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah. So we'll see. Okay. So what do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur, and what do you think is the hardest?
What I enjoy the most, I think, is having the freedom to kind of build an empire. I feel like I always say this: I'd rather be stressed over checks that I'm signing rather than be stressed over somebody else's checks. And I think having that, not being so stifled in that corporate world, and being able to like bring something to fruition that was yours, like that sense of pride you have, that sense of ownership you have. I think that is the best feeling. The hardest, I think, is you have to wear so many hats. A lot of times, I mean, you can, let's say you do have a team, but it's your baby. So you have to kind of like be everything all at once. And sometimes that can be very difficult, especially like I'm a mom, they're both under 4. Like it can be really trying to juggle everything. I think that's the hardest, trying to juggle everything.
Okay. Yeah. So I actually like what you said. You said that you would rather be stressed over checks that you're signing than checks that's coming from somebody else. I like that.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So what's the biggest pain point you've been dealing with these days in COVID-19 quarantine pandemic?
Having the kids at home with you. Having them, yeah, because it's like we launched in the midst of the pandemic. So we launched April of 2020.
Another Black business that came up in this pandemic, but okay, go ahead.
Yes. So I like trying to balance like time and putting as much into the business as I am into my home life, as I am into, the kid, like trying to find the time to figure all of that out, because I had to be a teacher, I had to become a therapist, I had to become like all of these things because of this pandemic. So that, I think the hardest is time, just not having enough of it.
So you are a wife, mother of 2, business owner, and student.
Yes.
You better do it.
I'm trying.
You better do it.
I'm trying.
Okay. So who are 3 people that influenced you the most in your life?
So I'm gonna have to cheat.
Okay.
Because I don't have just 3.
No, go ahead. Tell me.
Because I think in different stages of my life, I've had different types of influence.
Okay.
So when I was younger, it was definitely my mother. Like my mother, like queen.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have so the woman that helped me build the Ava's Room website,
Okay.
just off of a whim, she had put a question up on her stories. I answered it and she was like, hey, do you need some help? You're building a brand. Do you need some help? And I was like, yeah, actually, I would love some help. Okay. Let me tell you, thank God I picked up my phone. She drops gems every day, doesn't ask me for a dime, understands my struggle, tells me where I'm lacking, all from somebody just helping me build my website. So her name is Ray Calloway, and she is the best. She is the best.
I wanna use that as a lesson right there. So you literally hired somebody to build your website, and this person became a mentor to you.
Yes.
So did you do anything special for her to become a mentor, or did she just in conversation with her, she just said, do this and do that and do this?
She's just a dope woman who saw that I was like, oh.
So that's a lesson right there. And I want our listeners to know that it's okay to be vulnerable sometimes. She was honest, and, she went to somebody and look how it turned out. So that's a good thing. Yeah, so I just wanted to chime in, but go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. Of course, because you're absolutely right. Because we want to do everything by ourselves and be on point at all times. And sometimes it takes somebody that's done it before to kind of hold your hand through it. Exactly. So, influence. I mean, I get it everywhere. I get my influence from my kids. Sometimes I get it from my husband. Sometimes just by seeing other Black women do really dope things. I'm just everything is feeding me and teaching me and all that good stuff.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So what are some characteristics that you feel like business owners need to have to be able to succeed, or just to even be a startup business?
I think you definitely need to be determined, not even determined, passionate, because you have to be okay with not making money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You have to be okay with it just being you and your bank account says 0, and still be passionate about what you're doing. I think you also need a dose of reality. Mm-hmm. Because some people I'm gonna be a billionaire tomorrow. No. No, not really. Yeah, it's going to take some time. And you need to love God.
Amen.
Jesus. Yes. Honestly, if I didn't, I don't know how.
Exactly. Because you got to pray every day. Because he is the one who blesses you. But we won't go to church today.
Okay.
So we know that entrepreneurship can be a tough road, right? So in those difficult times where you feel like you want to give up and you feel like I just can't do this anymore, how do you stay motivated and keep moving forward and making progress?
I think it's important, and this may be controversial to say, but I think it's important to take the break when you need it. Mm-hmm. Because what is the sense of burning yourself or working yourself so hard that you can't even enjoy what you've built? Mm-hmm. And I think for me, I get burnt out a lot. I get really, really stressed and tired, and I've made it a point to kind of take a step back, take a breather when I needed it, so that I can come back into the game energized and able to do what I need to do. So I think it's important. It's really, really important that if you're getting to that point, it's okay to take a break.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that too. So what makes you feel inspired to be your best self every day?
The babies, my kids, because like when they say they are watching what you do, they really are watching what you do. Like
Yes.
everything that you do. So I just want to make sure that when they are looking, that they're proud of what they see. So that makes me make sure that, and that doesn't mean that I'm trying to be perfect, because that's not how life works.
Yeah.
But I just want them to be proud of what they saw. That mom showed them different, and that they can be their very best selves every day, because mommy tried to do that every day.
Okay. Okay. So what is one of the most important things you learned in life? That's the first part of the question. Then what was your life like before you learned it, and what was your life like after you learned it?
Oh, I would have to say, yeah. I think that learning that I can't, like letting go of what I can't change, that has been life changing for me, because I was always like I would stress about it. So this is how life was before. I would stress about it.
Okay.
I internalized stress. So I would never show it outside. I would just get like sick, or my blood pressure would go up or something like that.
Okay.
And then when I learned, like, bruh, it happened. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, where do we go from here? It's like taking a deep breath and letting it go. Like that's how life is now. Like knowing that, hey, it happened, can't change it. What's next?
Yeah. Feels good.
Yes.
Kind of like let it go and release it.
Yep.
Okay. So how do your parents, wow. How do your parents feel about your business? How do they feel about it?
So I come from a whole Haitian family, so they don't quite understand entrepreneurship and what that means. So right now I'm just a jobless to them.
Wait, in the way you said it.
That's what I am to them now. I think like my mom understands more than my dad, and my dad's just like, oh, you're sewing clothes, nice. But my mom, I've been able to kind of talk to her about it, and she sees my vision, and I got my love of clothes from her, so she gets it. I don't think they quite understand like entrepreneurship and what all of that is, because like when they see me on the computer and they're like, okay, but I'm working, like I'm trying to put together content, I'm doing research, I'm doing this and that, but they just see me on the computer. So they don't quite understand it, but one day,
One day they'll get it. Okay. Okay. So what advice would you give someone wanting to pursue a similar career as yours, or also just a business in general?
I think make sure that you're passionate about it. Make sure that you're okay with not making any money for the first or second or third year. You know what I mean? Be fluid, because there's not one way to get somewhere. There's different ways, there's different paths. So be fluid, allow yourself to kind of go with the flow with your vision in mind, of course. What else would I say? Trust yourself,
Okay.
because just because the girl next to you is selling lashes doesn't mean that you can't sell lashes. Like, trust you and trust your story, because the reason she's selling lashes is not the reason you're selling lashes. So you know what I mean? So I think that's another thing. Just because you see someone doing it, if you're passionate about it, there's nothing that will keep you from it.
Exactly. Okay. Lesson, guys. Lesson right
Gym,
there.
gyms.
Yes, Jim. Yes, Jim. Okay. So what are some resources that helped you along the way? So like some resources that you use to help you grow your business.
automate, guys. I think the best thing that I learned was to make sure that I had found apps that helped me manage all of this. So things like Canva,
Mm.
later
Yes.
allows you to schedule your posts.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch. Oh gosh, I can't even think of everything, but like all there are like
Hootsuite. I got some more for you. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh,
Trying to think of what else.
Have Slack in your doing stuff with people overseas or whatever.
Yes.
Slack's a good one. There's resources. Other people can be resources too. Like talk everywhere you go, talk about your business because you never know who you're gonna fall upon that can help you grow it in some way. So yeah, but automation, don't make your life hard. Schedule a day where you're like, this is where I'm going to put all my content. This is how I'm going to schedule it out. So during the week, you have a little bit of time to like do other things.
Exactly. Okay. So, what advice would you tell your younger self?
I would tell myself it's okay to feel your feelings because I come from a family of a whole bunch of extroverts and I am an introvert. And I always I internalize everything. I also hated confrontation. So I always felt like I just had to be happy. That was the only feeling that I could express. So I would tell little Dom, it's okay to be mad right now. It's okay to express your sadness. It's okay. Like this is going to be a little Debbie Downer, but I was, as a kid, literally schedule times to cry because I know that I would be by myself. But now, I'm like, I'm mad right now. We're gonna handle this right now, or I'm sad right now. Let me bawl out my eyes out, no matter what, and then move on. So I would tell her it's okay to smile.
Okay, so that's the third time someone has said that on this podcast. Feel the way you feel right then and there, and then let it go. So hopefully you guys are listening and writing that down because that's the third time someone said that. So if money wasn't an option, what would you do every day?
I would be in a whole big closet full of clothes that I built. I would turn a whole house into one big closet. And then
you would have a closet mall.
Basically, I would build myself a department store, basically. Okay. But then also, and I know this is so corny, but I would definitely do whatever I could to build my community because
no, that's not corny.
That is my with this brand and everything that I do, I'm just trying to build, especially young Black girls, just because I need it to be normalized that they have luxury. I need it normalized that they know they're beautiful and they walk around saying that they're beautiful. I was telling someone the other day, why we normalize, let's tell the little girl that she's beautiful, but when she says it to herself, she's conceited. Or no, I want Ava looks into herself in the mirror and she kisses herself and she says beautiful, and my mom's like, oh, that's conceited. No, let her do what she's gonna do. So a lot of my money would also go into building up my community.
Okay. So how old is Ava?
She's 4.
4? Okay. I just wanted to see how old she was. Okay. So what's your vision for the next 5 years for your business? What do you see?
I'm so excited. I might cry. So I see.
Okay. You might make me cry, but go ahead.
I would love to partner with nonprofits who are specifically working in the special needs realm, partnering with them and kind of pushing their initiatives out there, no matter however I can. Mm-hmm. And then also, I would like to get into actually designing clothes for our brand. I have a line that I would like to grow that's catered specifically to kids with sensory processing disorders. Okay. So sometimes Like my daughter, she wears something called a pressure vest. And it's just a vest to kind of help her regulate her body. Sometimes it's hard for her to regulate her body. It is super ugly, but it makes her feel like she's getting a hug, and she has to wear it at school.
Okay.
And I think it would be really dope to create something that's beautiful, does the same thing, but doesn't have, sometimes kids are cruel. So it's like, oh, what is that? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So never have a piece of clothing that does that job, but also looks nice would be, really, really cool. So we're trying to be innovative in that space and kind of merge the two worlds.
Okay. And that's going to happen.
I believe it.
We're gonna speak it into existence. I'm a firm believer in that.
Thank you. Yes.
So, okay. I like that. So here's the signature question. What is something unique that no one knows about you or your product? And how does it make you different?
I think that people, well, I say it all the time, but people don't believe me that Ava really does like run the show. She helps me pick the clothes. She'll say, no, this one. She'll help me pick. She helps me package the orders. She helps me organize the office. When I do go to pop-ups, I don't bring her because she might not love it because it's loud and there's music playing. But she knows to get the table. She knows to put the stuff in the bin. Like, she's a very big part of the business. And I think that's important because it's going to be hers. Mm-hmm. And also her input. Like, I learned so much from her. She's only 4, but I learned so much from her every day. And so her input is very important. And I think that's what sets us apart, because it's like, I'm listening to a 4-year-old, but she really does.
Listen, I had one in my house for 2 months during COVID. I learned so much. Oh my God. And
but you was also pulling your hair out.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I was.
You're like, time to go back.
Yes. Can you go home now? No, sorry. Nari, I don't mean that, because she's probably listening. She ran across me on YouTube. So
just kidding.
Yeah, sorry, Nar. But yeah, so that's actually really good. That's not the first time I've heard of a baby, because technically, she's a toddler, right?
Toddler, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So a toddler helping out with business. That's not the first time I heard it. I actually love that idea. I can't wait until I have a little me, because I'm gonna put them in the real estate, and they're gonna probably be up here on the podcast too. So, but all right. So before we wrap up, do you have any questions for me?
Yes. Okay. So I'm pretty sure you've answered this before, but like, what made you say, I'm going to do a podcast and showcase businesses? Mm-hmm. And I have a part 2. Mm-hmm. What has been your favorite part? Like, what you have any favorite shows? Do you have any favorite scenarios?
Okay. So it actually started off as a business shower it was supposed to be a series of events. And this is me announcing it here today on this podcast, that I will be having a virtual business shower, and I would love for you to be a part of it.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's going to be our first virtual event, because we were supposed to have like a series of business showers throughout New Jersey, but pandemic, I don't think nothing's going to change anytime soon. Mm-hmm. So it will be a virtual event. I'm just going to go all virtual, just go all in. And that's going to be happening in either August or September. Not sure yet. But the podcast came about because when the pandemic happened, I was like, what am I going to do? So I had wrote the business plan for the business shower back in November. So I just read it and I'm like, I do want to do a podcast. Should I do a podcast now? Mm-hmm. And it just came out, and I'm not going to say this, but well, actually I am going to say this. The 4-year-old that was in my house, I was talking to myself and I was like, I should do a podcast. She was like, you should do a podcast, Caddy. And I'm like,
maybe they know.
You're right. So her parents might make me pay her now, but you know. But yeah, so I did it. She was actually a part of me announcing it. I had her in the video because when I announced it, I had her in the video, and that's how it came apart. And the second question that you asked me was, what do I love about it? Honestly, I love every episode that I do. Like, I don't know. I feel like this was supposed to be like, like I feel good when I get behind the camera. The one of the other guys that I interviewed was like, you got a taste of being a content creator. This is going to be you forever. And I'm like, yeah, I like
this.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. So that's why I did it, and I love everything about it.
That's so good to hear. Like, I love that. And I love that you're doing the virtual. We would love to be a part of it.
Awesome. Yay. So as soon as I get the details, which should be soon, I'm gonna start promoting it and send out all the details.
I'm excited.
Awesome. Okay. So let our listeners know where they can connect with you online. Let them know all your handles, your website, everything.
Yeah, so you can shop with us at avasroomboutique.com. That's our website. You can find us on Facebook. It's Ava's Room Children's Boutique. And then on Instagram, it's at Ava's Room Boutique. So AVASROOMBOUTIQUE.
Awesome. And I'm going to put all that information in the show notes. So, all right, everybody, that is a wrap. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem.
Super nervous, but this is such a good time.
See, I told you it's going to be great. Don't even worry about it.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and peace.